Hi everybody, this is Pramita here and I'm going to do the embellishing of the junk journal. I had finished embellishing till this page and I'm going to move on to the next one. And the next page is pretty bare, and what I'm planning to do is um, maybe embellish guest check and add it over here. So I'm sorry if you hear a loud thumping noise. My neighbors are doing some kind of renovations. Um, so they are trying to create a lot of noise basically. So let's work through that. And what I can do is I'm going through the things that Ellie has sent me. If I hope this is in frame and I can add this is actually I think from some calendar or some nature book sort of thing. I can add this as pocket, or I can add it like so, and make it into a tuck spot, or maybe like so. So if I want, I can make it into a tuck spot and I can glue this part up, and later on I can add something to it. So I might go in with that. So I can put it over here. So I'm going to glue this part and keep this corner open so that we can do some stuff. Okay, so another trick that I wanted to show is not always that our pages are tea dyed, and you can do your tea dyeing effect um, very easily. This is my distress ink ink tea dye, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add this. This is a piece of packaging that you get with all kinds of stuff, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just spritz some water, and now you can see how it has turned into a murky kind of liquid, and I'm just going to invert that over the stark white page that I have, and you'll see what kind of effect you get, and you'll get the tea dyed kind of look. And if you want to dry it immediately, you can use your heat tool or heat gun or whatever. And I'm just going to dab this off a little bit. And that's that. So I'm just going to dab this off, and you can see how it's looking now. And you can just finish this off. So now you can see how you can get your cool tea dyed effect. You can do that with any kind of distress ink, because distress inks are water reactive. And if you want to see what happens with archival, we can do that also. But the archival won't be moving that easily because it's not as water reactive as your distress inks basically. So I have my archival inks over here, but it is not water reactive, so you won't get that effect. So you can see it's not that water reactive, and if you want to get the tea dyed effect, you'll have to use distress inks, because those are water reactive up to a certain point of time, and then they don't react with water anymore. So here I have the page that I have just given a kind of tea dyed look, and you can do that with any distress inks. And I'm going to let this page dry a little bit and work on a different page. So this is the vellum piece that I have, and I think I'm going to add a glassine envelope to this page and make it into a journaling pocket sort of thing. So what I can do is I can stamp on this, and but I don't have my stamps nearby. How cool is that? Okay, so we can do another thing. We can, decoupage some of the stuff that we have, and I decoupage in a very unorthodox manner, and you might be horrified. So first thing I do is I take off the backing, and I don't know, it's going to take forever because taking the backing off the this thing napkin is pretty difficult sometimes. Okay, so it has come off, lucky me. So I'm not going to use the whole page for that matter. I'm going to use only a little of this, and I'm going to use only a tiny bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip this off with my scissors. You can do it with your decoupage scissors, or if you have a brush, you can use water just to snip this off, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to snip this off with my Tomahawk scissors, and I'm going to glue this up initially. So I'm going to use this as a tuck spot. So what I can do is I can make it like so. So I'm going to glue this over here. Okay. So I'm going to glue this first, and then we're going to use a little bit of white glue just to seal the whole thing up. So you can use the glue stick initially, and then you can, so if I do this way, so I can fix this. So now I have my napkin down, and I can just glue up this part a little bit just to stick the whole thing down, and if it's okay, like I might not, okay, so I need to glue this part up a little bit. So what I can do is I will come back later on and seal the whole thing basically. And I'm just going to take this off, and I'm going to make this into a tuck spot. Okay, and for that what I need to do is I need to trim this part up. So one thing I can do is I can make it into a tuck like this. So you have your tuck on this page, and then you have another tuck over here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to glue only the, I hope this is visible, I'm going to only put glue on the teeniest part and make this work. So I'm going to put it over here, and this is going to be another tuck, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue over here. Okay. So that I can put something over here. So this is going to be that teeny tiny tuck, and I have a little bit of extra napkin that I need to trim off, and I'm going to do that right away. So you can do that later on also, no big deal, but I just need to finish off the pages and move on to the next. I still have that page that I had given the tea dyed effect, so I can kind of glue this edge a little bit more, and I'm going to just, So if you want, you can use the white PVA glue on top of this, but I might not use it. So I'm going to open this up a little bit, my napkin, and I'm going to open this up while it's still wet, and so that I can put things inside. And over here I can put something like a bird. Okay, and I'm just going to tear it with my hand. And okay, so I'm going to ink this baby up. I have my distress ink box where I keep most of my, but I'm using chalk ink for this edge because I like the color, and it's very soft. The sponge is very soft and it gives the kind of desired colored effect that I need. And so I have that, and I think I can put it over here. So I'm going to use my glue stick because I need to put a little bit on this napkin also. Okay, and I'm going to put this over here. So it's kind of done. So this is how I have my thing going, and I also have the fabric tab over here, you know, a small tub sort of thing. I have kept all the fabrics together because I wanted them to be in one box so that I can access them easily. And I can put this, or I can put something else like so. Of course a teeny weeny bit, but I'm not sure yet. I'm going to go through the stash a little bit more. So basically I have this fabric which I can use, okay, and I can snip this off. So what I actually do is I don't use a ton. I'm going to snip this off, and then I'm going to take a few threads off, you know, give it a kind of rustic sort of feel. And I'm going to glue this up over here. Okay, so, sort of here. I hope this is in frame. I'm not sure yet. So I'm just putting a blob of glue and I'm putting this down. And I usually use the back of my glue bottle because I don't like to handle glue. Because once your hand gets sticky, then you know it catches on anything and everything. So I kind of don't like that. So I might put in a little bit of lace over here, not this much, a tiny bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of glue over here, and I'm going to add this lacy bit. So I have this more or less done. Okay, and on this page I have not done anything, so maybe it's time for me to layer some stuff up. So I have this scrap of paper and I can create a layered effect on this page. So let me go with that. So I want to basically cover up this staple, but I don't know how I should do that. Let's see. So I'm going to put some paper over here, and I'm just going to glue it down. Okay. And I have some tabs that she has So I can make it into a tuck sort of thing, but not right now. Let me keep it here. And I also have some floral images. Too much floral. No. And so I need to go through this. So I can use this, but I'm not going to use this. Let me see if I can use some book page or music page. So I think I have been using a music page. This is very brittle, and I think I can use this only on layering stuff up. So that's fine by me, because I'm going to put this down. And it's kind of cool because I don't need to ink up the edges. I don't need to do anything. I'm just layering stuff up. And I'm going to put some bird image on the other side. She has sent me some cool pages with images of birds. So maybe I'm going to use one of those. So I'm going to trim this up. So I'm going to trim this up a little bit. This one, I'm interested in using this image, and I'm going to snip off. I'm not going to do anything to the rest. I'm just putting them aside because I'm basically I'm using as I need, and I'm just going to fussy cut slightly around this because I don't want this to be too big, yet I want that, you know, white outline kind of thing. So I want the word also, and I'm going to put it over here. So it's kind of a bird kind of a page, and I am going to ink this up a little bit. I'm using this chalk ink by Stampabilities, and it's on its last leg, like it's dying basically, but it still works well. It doesn't grunge up too much, and that's what I like about this. Otherwise, sometimes, you know, the inks. Okay, so this is black suit. I don't want this. This is antique linen, and no. So this is kind of okay. So this is a vintage photo. So I'm going to use the vintage photo to ink up a little bit, and so I just have this crunched up a little bit, not much, and I am going to use my tissue to just blend this whole thing up, and I'm going to glue this up. And basically this page is going to be like a bird kind of page, and I like that. So here I have my page done, and over here I don't need to put this on basically. And I need to put a tab over here just to bring out this color. So what I'm going to do is I am going to trim this. This is just paper, nothing else. And my Tim Holtz tiny attacher is not working properly. I need to see what's wrong with it, but I didn't have the time, so I'm going to staple this. That's done, and I have a tab out here. So I've done 2 pages basically, and I think I'm going to wind this over here, and on this page I'm going to put some journaling card, as you know, in the tuck spot, and finish it. So I'll be back with the next part, so watch out for that. So bye, have a great day.